Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show, brought to you by Salvatore's Pizza. Our next set of guests on the Special Tees Hotline. Remember, a great company down in Geneseo, Livingston County. Special Tees. Check out their offerings to, if you want to put your team logo on a hat, on a drawstring bag, on a pullover, whatever it is, specialtees1.com. They are the Bath Rams, the top seeds in the Class B2 tournament for Section 5 boys soccer. 11-1 record. They will host either Minders or Wayland Cohocton. This game will be today, which is when people hear this on Saturday. First, let's introduce the head coach in his 20th season and our G&G Fitness Coach of the Week, Mr. Matt Hill. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for having us.
Congrats. You said something about thanks for thinking of us way down here. And Section 5 is the biggest geographic area in the state, right, Steve Bradley? 12 counties.
12 counties. So that, this fall it's been 12 Department of Health to deal with too. But geographically, it's basically what Lake Ontario to the shores of Pennsylvania, and then Pembroke and Genesee County all the way to Seneca County on the other side. So it's huge.
Matt, you're a Bath grad. You took over the program from a legend, Tom Hagedorn. You've certainly served things very well. 8 Section 5 titles and 9 league titles in your 20 seasons. When you were playing at Bath in the late 80s and in 1990 when you graduated, or 1991, did you think one day I'm going to coach this team? Was that always part of the plan?
No, it wasn't even a thought. I didn't think I would come back to Bath. I thought I would move out of the state, and fortunately that didn't work, and I ended up back here 25 years ago, and I'm still here.
Well, it's worked out quite well for you. Joining us also, Steve Bradley. We have a couple of the team leaders here. 22 goals, 6 assists for junior forward Kiefer Calkins. That is more than double anyone else on the team. And also senior defender Brendan Strong. And guys, thanks for being on the show. Brendan, let me start. I used to be a defender, and the forwards always get all the glory. Let's start with the defense first. You're a young man that's certainly grown up in this program. When you were growing up, was it a goal to be a Bath soccer player one day? It's a big deal in this town, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been playing soccer ever since I was young. Played Kiwanis, and I had 4 older brothers who played here, so it was an honor to follow in their footsteps. And yeah,
I thought I remembered that last name, Matt. The Strong last name. How about you, Kiefer? You tell me about were you always going to be a goal scorer for this team?
Yeah. Ever since I was young, I loved watching the varsity team play, and I always was hoping that I would be there someday, doing the same thing they were. And fortunately, it's worked out for me, and it's been a lot of fun.
So, Matt, one of the things that's most impressive, and especially in a smaller school district, is sustained success. And it sounds, even hearing the guys talk, that it's kind of in the bloodlines there. But why is Bath so competitive every year? We're going back to a 4 straight titles, and every year you're in the conversation. Why is that?
The kids, a lot of times when they're 5, 6, 7 years old, their parents bring them to a game, and they kind of get used to going to games, and then they just they get in their mind, like Kiefer and Brendan, who had older brothers. Brendan did that. They'll want to do it, and then their parents jump on board, and then they end up driving these kids to Elmira, Rochester to continue to play. And we have our own house leagues here in town, but there's only so much we can do with 7,000 people. And we do our summer soccer, spring soccer. But the parents have been great, and they really get on board, and they drive these kids wherever, and they just keep them going from the young ages of 6, 7, and 8 right up through high school. And, I would credit a lot of that to the parents.
We're talking some Bath soccer here on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Guys, you start off the season, and Brendan, 2-1 loss. Now, it's a good Livonia team. That's another strong program, obviously, but did that make you guys kind of reassess things or where you were at? What did you guys learn from that loss? Because you've won 11 straight matches since then.
That just motivated us. We just have to go out there, keep playing hard, and not let that happen again. We just got to take one game at a time.
So Kiefer, 22 goals. It's an impressive total. Do you have a sweet spot, and I'll ask Coach later just maybe what your strengths are as a scorer, but what do you think makes you so prolific at putting the ball in the net?
I get hungry whenever I'm near the goal. So every time I get the ball or someone else has it, I try to get open to put myself in a position to score. And that's what I've been doing. And every time I get the opportunity, I usually try to aim for a corner and put it there.
Matt, does he score what people call goal scorer's goals? Or how do you assess the way he has kind of the magic touch?
Oh, he does. He's good in real tight spaces inside the box. Like he can make a quick touch here and get a shot off, a snap of your fingers, and it's, the ball's in the back of the net. So, and he gets a lot of those goals inside the box. And that's what goal scorers do. Like, we're not banging shots in from 30 yards, normally. That's not how it works for a lot of teams. It's in the box, he gets his foot on it, and a lot of times in the back of the net.
Second on the team in scoring is a sophomore, Zach Musso, 10 goals, 1 assist, and Braden Yartum, junior, with 2 goals and 11 assists. Kiefer, I'm going to guess he's probably a pretty helpful guy for you.
Yeah. He serves some corner kicks in that are great, so I try to get my head to a lot of those. And, yeah, he also plays some through balls that work great for us.
Brendan, the rematch against Livonia was October 23rd. 2-0 win. It's kind of how you draw it up, right? Kiefer scores really early, and then Zach in the 30th minute. So it's 2-0 at halftime. How important was that early goal against those guys, Brendan?
That was big because you knew they'd be coming out strong. We knew we had to win 50-50 ball, something we didn't really do in the first game. We learned from our mistakes in the first game, and I think we had some good success.
Matt, 2020 being just 2020, and all the questions and everything it brings, your program has gone to states before, and what's the mindset as you approach sectionals? Are guys glad that they just had a season, or is your program and a team where the goals are pretty high and that you had to adjust maybe some of those goals because some of the things that have been there in the past are not there this fall?
No, a lot of people have asked and wondered about that. Like, are you sad that the state tournament isn't going to happen? And to be honest with you, at this point, we're just happy we're playing, and there's a chance to potentially win a sectional title. And everything after that, we always call is kind of icing on the cake or whatever. And I always feel like that way. My goal for all these guys coming into the season is to get them to play into a sectional final. Like, that's it. That's the only goal that I ever have for them, and to behave themselves. That and to play in a sectional final. And that's it. We don't talk about states. We don't talk about the regionals. If it happens, it happens. But we don't go into the season talking about that type of thing, no.
All right, so I'm going to put these guys on the spot a little bit here. Kiefer, if somebody came up to you and said, hey, what's your coach like? How do you answer that question?
I would first probably say that he's great. He gets us to work hard. He motivates us to keep going and pushing ourselves in practice to be our very best. And when we don't, he doesn't yell at us, but he's firm with his word. And we usually, right after that, we start to play better.
How about you, Brendan? Anything to add about Coach?
I'd probably say the same thing. He pushes us to the best of our abilities, and if we do something wrong, he'll certainly tell us that we did it. But it's just part of the game. You have to learn from your mistakes.
Brendan, how did having older brothers help you just kind of find your footing and fit in with the whole team and the whole structure?
Well, growing up, I always like to watch them, and they're pretty good. So they taught me some new things, and it was just great to be able to have them.
Did they play defense?
Yeah, all of them except one played defense.
Coach Hill, let me ask you about Brendan. And we talked a little about what Kiefer does. What makes him such a key guy back there for you?
This is his third year in varsity, and he probably could have played 4 years, but we had, his ninth grade year, we had plenty of players and already up on varsity. But he's been a center defender for a couple years now. He's so calm, cool, and collected back there. He's great with his head. He gets the balls and doesn't miss them. He directs traffic. He's a perfect sweeper. Like, you couldn't mold anybody better than Brendan as far as what he does back there for all of us seeing the whole field. And he is certainly going to be missed next year when after he graduates. So hopefully we've got him for 3 more games and we'll see what happens. I hope.
Well, in the last 2 years, the Bath Rams came into the postseason as the top seeds. In the last 2 years, they walked away with the brick. 1-0 win over Letsaw in 2018 in the title game, and last year 4-0 rout of Bishop Kearney. But, gentlemen, let me remind you, 3 years ago, also the top seeds. That's when World of Inquiry got you in the championship game. So this would be the 5th consecutive title game, which is really, really impressive. Because we know in soccer, the bounce of a ball, a couple crossbars, you never know. So guys, we wish you the best of luck moving forward. Gentlemen, Brendan and Kiefer, thanks for coming on the program. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Matt Hill, thank you, sir. Congrats on being our G&G Fitness Coach of the Week, not just for having a winning program, but really shaping and molding the lives of young people. Thanks, Matt.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having us. Thanks, Steve.
You bet. Thanks for being with us.
That's Bath Soccer right here on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. We'll take a break, come back, talk more with you on Fox Sports 1280.